On this week's show, Kendall Toole, Ross Rayburn, and Kristin McGee teach their final classes.
Plus, Lil Jon is in person at Peloton Studios, New York. Jess King is bringing her sweat steady classes to the tread, and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 182 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I'm John Pruitt, joined by my co-host this week, Chris Lewis. Hey, Chris.
Hey, John. How are you?
Good to see you. I'm doing good.
Good to see you too. Good to have you back on the screen.
Yeah, just the boys holding it down this week while Amanda is off gallivanting in Greece somewhere in the Mykonos Islands. I'm sure she's having a great time, but she is checking in. She's still joining some classes on the app. I get the high fives from her from Maddie's on Maddie's walk and talk recently.
Yep, her dedication there is commendable. So well done, Amanda.
We just got to get that blue dot, just like the rest of us crazy folk that can't have that missing dot for that one day on that calendar, even when we're on vacation. So yes, I appreciate her dedication.
You had a good visit up to Peloton Studios yourself this weekend?
Yeah, last weekend, had a really nice time visiting my mom in Jersey, and then got in some classes at the studio, a few classes of instructors I had just met for the very first time in person, and I'd taken classes with the first time. So I got some rides in with Camilla, a walk run with Olivia, a really super fun 80s ride with Dennis on Saturday afternoon, and then the mixtape ride with Jen on Sunday morning, and then randomly last minute, I got into this HIIT cardio class with Logan on Sunday morning when it wasn't looking like I was going to get into the Jess Sims boot camp.
Sure.
Someone at the front desk said, "Hey, we have this spot open. It's very last minute, but do you want to just hop in it because it doesn't look like you're going to get into the Jess boot camp at this point." So I was like, "Yeah, well, let's go for it." It totally smoked me, but it was great. I mean, he was super fun. A real fun, studio energy.
I had a chance to run with him in person a couple earlier this year, and it was a great in-person class as well. So
yeah, super, super friendly guy. Just really liked, just great attitude.
Yeah.
Ran into a bunch of, random people that I hadn't seen in a while while I was there. So that was great. And, just a nice visit. It's good to be back. Good to be back in Michigan. Super hot and disgusting weather, though.
It is down here in Atlanta as well. It's 100 degrees or so. So brutal. Just trying to stay cool.
Yeah, it was like after the second day at the studio, I didn't even bother to shower before I left because I was already sweating like a pig when I got to New Jersey, when I got to Penn Station to take the train back to Jersey. So it was like, why even? I just waited to get, hop in the shower when I got back to New Jersey. So
so save yourself the 10 minutes.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah. So before we get started, we like to do this whole spiel, which you've heard, which we always say, but you can find us on all the social media channels, on Instagram, on TikTok, on X, Facebook, YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe. Please leave us a 5-star review if you're enjoying the show. We always like to read those from time to time. We do actually really appreciate the feedback, too, that we receive on how we can enhance and update the show. So please keep that coming. And with that, let's get right on with the show, Chris.
Sounds great.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
So, several instructors have taught their final live classes this week at Peloton. Ross Rayburn, who announced his departure from the company on April 25th. This was followed by Kendall Toole, who announced that she was leaving Peloton on July 13th. And lastly but not least, Kristin McGee announced on June 17th that she was leaving Peloton also at the end of the month. So their final classes now have, by the time this episode airs, have all taken place. But Kendall's, her last class was on Saturday, June 29th at 2 p.m. Eastern. It did have members in the studio, and the class is labeled as a 30-minute farewell ride. The only one of the three that is currently labeled this way. So Kristin's last class also took place that Saturday, the 29th, but in the morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Also had members in the studio, but it wasn't labeled farewell, final class or anything like that. It was just simply labeled a 30-minute yoga flow, which, as of recording today, it's currently marked. And then Ross Rayburn's final class with Peloton was held on Friday, June 28th, early one at 7:30 a.m. in the morning. That was also simply labeled as a 30-minute yoga flow as well. And as we had previously shared on past shows and on social media, Peloton had released a statement saying that all three departures were related to contract negotiations. They also mentioned the possibility of new instructors down the road, though, to replace them. But I'm curious to see, how, all three classes go. We're recording before they're taking place. So,
yeah, I know everyone's upset to see them go, and a lot of people are trying to work their schedules out to be able to do at least on some of those lives. But the good news is, if you can't make it live, those classes all should be available on demand. Peloton also has put out statements saying that the majority of their classes will remain available on demand, pending their normal weekly purges. So, they're not guaranteeing they're going to be there forever, but they're not going to, at least planning right now on a mass purge to remove all of those classes immediately.
Yeah, it was on a random side note. Over last weekend, I randomly ran into Ross Rayburn when he was just he was just chatting when he was getting ready to leave. And I said, thank you. I just wanted to thank you, for tucking me in all these nights on your sleep meditations and helping me doze off. So we had a nice little moment together before, and I also did correct him on the leaderboard name just so he knew now going forward what, it's a Seinfeld reference. So it was a fun random moment. So at least I caught him before, he's gone from the company.
Yeah, and he did leave a gift to people of one last long sleep meditation. So he dropped one last 30-minute sleep meditation for people.
30 minutes.
Yeah, he left a long one for everyone. Well, speaking of the instructors and then leaving, Peloton has done something for the first time. They have created new greatest hit collections for the three instructors. There's now a Ross's greatest hits collection, a Kristin's greatest hits collection, and a Kendall's greatest hits collections. And these are all labeled as, kind of some of the collection of the signature classes. And Ross's has 38 classes in there, Kendall has 90, and Kristin has 51 classes in there. And each of the collection is kind of broken down differently. It just depends on what the instructor taught. Like Kendall's, for example, has a section for pop punk. Hers has a section for mental health, which the others are not going to have. So they're kind of just, you can get a feel for them that way. Those should, we'll probably have their final classes added to those as well. This is the first time Peloton has ever done this for a departing instructor. Honestly, though, I think this would make sense for every instructor now. Like, don't wait for them to leave. Put this up there because it's a good way for new members to, narrow down what they want to sample out and try with a new instructor. So hopefully long term, this is something they might try with some other instructors just to have out there, not when someone's leaving.
For sure. Would be nice. So Peloton recently shared which featured classes you can look forward to during their week of June 24th to the 30th via their weekly This Week at Peloton Instagram post. So first up, we have some new scenic classes from Chile, which dropped on Wednesday, June 26th. These include classes for the bike, tread, and row, most likely only distance-based and time-based, so there's no sort of guided classes by instructors in person on these ones. And next, we have two more classes, actually, in the Casey Musgraves Artist Series that dropped on demand this past Wednesday, the 26th. We got a 20-minute restorative yoga flow with Anna Greenberg and a 20-minute Pilates with Aditi Shah. And then next up, Kirsten Ferguson has a 30-minute outdoor intention-setting walk, which came out on Thursday, the 27th. And these intention-setting walks are Kirsten's signature class series. And also, thanks to an update this past spring, you can now take these outdoor classes on the Tread and Tread Plus devices. They're not just limited to the app.
Yeah, this is her first one that's ever been outdoors. So up until now, they've only been on the Tread on Sundays, and now they're branching out to try them out outdoors as well. So that's what's new with the series this week.
And then finally, Mayla Wedekind has returned to teach on the live schedule for her first class after being on maternity leave. She's been off the schedule since the birth of her first child from January 2024. This past Saturday, June 29th, she taught a 30-minute rock ride. It was in German from Peloton Studios, London.
Yeah, and that was part of, they had the London Calling German weekend. So there was a bunch of German members there, and her return was tied to one of the special events. And she also, in addition to that, we shared last week or the week before, she also held a book reading that members could sign up for with her new book that just came out in April. So lots of special stuff for the German community taking place in London this weekend.
Cool. Lots of good tie-ins.
Mm-hmm. And this upcoming week, just as a reminder, there will be no live classes from Wednesday to Sunday. That's July 3rd to 7th for the 4th of July holiday here in the States. But both studios are going to be closed, no live classes. So if you're looking at the schedule, that's why. And we previously shared that the studios would be closed from Thursday to Sunday. But even though there's no members in the studio Wednesday, it's closed that day as well. And moving on to artist series, we found out the artist series that will be coming up for July. There are two that are officially confirmed by Peloton at this point. These were revealed when the studio booking website was updated with them for the month of July. The first one is going to be Jack Antonoff, which will take place on July 18th. There will also be an artist series with Anitta, which will take place on July 25th. There's not a ton of classes in these. For the Jack Antonoff one, there's two that will have members in them. And for the Anitta one, there's actually only one listed right now that will have members in them. Now, there could be some that are invite only. And then as always, there's usually other ones that are released straight on demand library, or they end up being live but without members. So usually the week of those, usually on Tuesday, we'll find out more details about those. So we'll be sure to share those throughout the month and share the full list as those become available. Now, there's only two for the month, which, seems a little light. Most months Peloton's been having them every single week. It does appear that there might be a surprise artist series being added. This week, we also did find out for sure that there is a Taylor Swift Tortured Poets Department series being recorded. We had shared a couple weeks ago that a invite-only class had gone out for Robin Arzon, and that was on June 27th. There wasn't much details about it. It was just labeled a pop ride, but the one thing tying it together was most of the people who got invited, it seemed to be Taylor Swift fans. That ride did take place this week, and though nobody has officially posted and said it, some of those classes from people who were in studios showed up on the activity feed, and based on that, the class was actually listed officially as a 30-minute Taylor Swift Tortured Poets ride that was taught by Rob, and it was 30 minutes. This was a pre-record, so it was recorded well ahead of whenever the artist series is going to take place, so you can't actually take it now, but they're just recording it with members for whenever the series comes out. So based on that having been recorded, I can't imagine there's only going to be one in that series, so we'll get more added later whenever the rest of the series goes up. Now, they have done it before where on a holiday like the 4th of July, they drop some, and there could be all pre-recorded, or maybe it's that July 11th weekend where there's no artist series right now. So right now the two artist series are on the 18th and 25th, so it's possible that on July 11th, there could be a live Taylor Swift artist series, and the Robin class is included as part of that. Or it could just be well ahead of time. We'll just have to wait and see when that is. But we do know at least one class was recorded this month with Robin, and that's a Taylor Swift Tortured Poets ride, and we'll wait to see the details for the rest of the series whenever that surprise announcement comes.
Gotcha. Well, Peloton has announced the full details of their next artist series, which features record producer and rapper Lil Jon. Peloton shared the news via Instagram saying, "Dirty South in the house, turn up and get low for an artist series fit for the club. Let the crunk creations of hip-hop legend Lil Jon energize your every move in new classes on the bike, tread, and row. In addition, this is what I think is really fun, Lil Jon himself will be at PSNY taking some of these classes live in the studio. He's going to be joining Chelsea Jackson Roberts for her meditation and Alex Toussaint for his Club Bangers ride.
And so I found this even more interesting. He's not just going to be taking them. He's actually going to be co-leading the meditation as a 2-for-1 Chelsea. And I did not realize this until this came out. He actually has 2 guided meditation albums. Both were released this year. So he's really into meditation. So at least for the meditation, it sounds like it's going to be a 2-for-1 co-led by him and Chelsea. The bike, I imagine, is going to be more of one of the ones
showcase in the spotlight. He'll be mic'd.
Yeah, I imagine that's how that's going to work up. But we'll see next week, and we'll share more details about that. But we got another artist showing up, so hopefully the servers will handle it, and it's not going to be like Lizzo where the servers crash. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I guess I'll find out tonight when I take that Club Bangers and see how it goes. So the series, it all began this past Thursday, June 27th. We got a total of 6 classes across 5 modalities, including one in German. And they are as follows: a 30-minute ride with Cliff Dwanger, that's the one in German, a 30-minute full body strength with Jess Sims, 10-minute meditation with Chelsea Jackson Roberts that we mentioned, a 30-minute run with Kirsten Ferguson, a 20-minute row with Ash Pryor, and the 30-minute Club Bangers, which features Lil Jon in the studio with Alex Toussaint. That happened in the evening time slot on Thursday, the 27th.
Nice.
And then shifting a little bit, Jess King's signature Sweat Steady bike series, it's now finally coming to the tread. It was recently announced her first one for the tread is happening today, Sunday, June 30th at 11 a.m. Eastern time. I was actually surprised it was a walk. I would have figured like Sweat Steady would just fit in with the run. So maybe we'll get some Sweat Steady runs sprinkled in there on the tread.
We'll have to see. I actually looked, and they've updated the description for the collection, and right now the collection specifically only mentions walks. So at least for the short term, it seems like it might only be walks, but who knows what we'll see down the road. And maybe it's just because the first one's a walk, there's only one walk, so that's why they named it that way.
That's the description, yeah. They could update it.
Yeah. Well, Peloton, as we've shared before, has a long-term partnership with the NBA, and as part of that, they are now promoting the WNBA a little bit. They are doing a WNBA Pride by Peloton feature, and it says that you can celebrate Pride with a roundup of new and exciting classes handpicked by WNBA athletes. There's 6 classes that are featured. 7, sorry. There's 6 on demand, and then 1 upcoming live class that they were featuring. They didn't really put these in a collection. It really just showed up in an Instagram story. They just didn't say which WNBAers picked this. So it's just kind of, here's a list of classes that, some WNBA player may have picked. So keep an eye out for if more comes with that, and we'll see if they put them in a collection or do any more with that down the road.
Thanks. Well, we have some live DJ rides taking place at Peloton Studios London. The first one has already happened. It's available on demand now, but it's a 30-minute Defected Records live DJ ride with Ben Aldis from June 21st. But there's 2 others on the way that are being recorded or have been recorded with Leanna and Hannah Frankson. Very high production value. If you've already seen some clips from Ben's or taken that one, you can kind of see what they put a lot into it when they release it. So I would expect more of the same from the Leanne and Hannah ones when those are dropped.
Yeah, and one of the videos Ben posted, it was kind of a wrap up, kind of showcasing some of that. They really went over, all in with the lights. I think there's some new camera angles they did, and maybe even a handheld camera. So they really just went all in. But it looks like some of the video clips show Hannah and Leanne actually on the bike leading. So I don't imagine they probably did that just for the promo. I imagine they recorded them all while that DJ was there, knocked them out at once. So they did Ben's live, and then we'll see the other ones released as premiere down the road. But maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they really did do some clips of them fake teaching a class for social media, and then we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
And then a small update that Peloton made to the app and website. There was previously a filter in the strength section that was strength for runners. Well, as we shared in the last week or two, there's now strength for golfer classes. So based on that, the filter has now been renamed to, I believe it is strength for sport. And that will now pull in the strength for runners. It'll pull in the strength for golfers. It'll also pull in the core for golfers. So you can now find all of those strength for golfers and runners under that new renamed filter under the strength section of the app.
Cool. Well, Amazon Prime Day will take place again this summer, and Peloton will once again be on sale as part of that, as in previous years. At least some Peloton deals will be invite-only deals. So the Peloton sale for Amazon Prime Day 2024, it'll be 30% off some hardware. It's taking place from July 16th to the 17th. This is Amazon's annual sale specifically for Prime members, so those who pay that annual fee to receive access to Prime shipping and products. You have to be an Amazon Prime member to participate in this. So previous years, we've seen Peloton hardware like the Bike and Bike Plus be on sale from anywhere from 10 to 30% off. And we also would expect some deep discounts on the Peloton Guide as well, which in previous years we've seen it at as much as 50% off. So there's typically sales on Peloton apparel, accessories, and weights for the Prime Day sale as well, but no word yet on whether the tread or row will be a part of the sale as well and be included.
Yeah, this is the first time Amazon has held a sale since the tread and row were added to Amazon. I think they added that in April. So, they'll probably be included as a small discount, but we're just not sure.
Maybe not so much as 30%, but something.
Yeah, a small 10% discount. And like you were saying for the guide, I expect to see the guide at that $95, $99 deep discount.
Yeah, I know. They
to try to unload some of that inventory.
They can't give that inventory away quick enough.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of deals, Peloton is also pushing and promoting the Peloton app. There's a deal in the US and Canada that new members can get nearly 75% off the price of the monthly membership for 2 months. If you sign up under this deal, you can get the Peloton app 1 membership for only $2.50 a month. Normally, I believe it's $12.99 a month. You can also get the Peloton App Plus membership, which is the full, all class, no free cardio classes per month limit. That will be $4.99 a month. And that is normally $24 a month. So some pretty significant savings on those for new members. You have to sign up by July 16th for that, and you'll get that pricing for 2 months. At the end of it, you'll go back to that normal $12.99 or $24 a month discount. And to get that discount, you have to sign up through either the Android or the iPhone app from the store. You can't go to the Peloton website to get it. You have to actually, download the app and create the new account from there to get those discounts.
Right. Well, we've got some new Peloton Spiritual Gangster apparel. That collaboration is back. There's a PCZ hoodie, a Sadie short, a Soul Pocket sweatpants, seamless bra and leggings, a piece trucker hat in 2 different colors, and a few more pieces there if you want to check that out on Peloton Apparel's website. And some birthdays. Andy and Dennis both share a birthday. They celebrated their birthday last Sunday, the 23rd. And Katie Wong, this past Tuesday, the 25th, also celebrated a birthday. So happy birthday to the 3 of them.
Happy birthday.
And then let's get right into instructors in the news. First up is Jess Sims, who recently spent some time volunteering in support of Dunkin' Donuts charity, Dunkin' Joy and Childhood Foundation. She posted how she shared some time at a local Dunkin' store right in New York City, the 8th Avenue Manhattan location, handing out some glazed donuts and as well as coffee to customers. She posted a very perfect picture of a whole tray of fresh glazed, straight out of the oven. That was part of Dunkin's Iced Coffee Day. So on this day, $1 of every iced coffee, cold brew, and nitro purchase goes to children's hospitals across the country to help support their programs and child life teams. So the event, it ends up raising millions for the charity that goes to support these programs. 2023 Iced Coffee Day, it raised over $1.7 million. And in her post about the event, she also included some pictures of fellow Peloton instructors who stopped by to hang out with her. She posted a picture with Emma, with Katie Wong, and Camilla Ramon, all hanging out and spending some time at that Duncan location.
Nice. Well, Mariana Fernandez was in California last week, and she competed in an international distance triathlon. Not only did she compete, she ended up getting second place in her age group. So congratulations to Mariana on her triathlon the other week.
Congratulations. Tunde recently took to Instagram. She's being honored by BET. She said, "I'm so grateful to be honored this year by BET and inducted into their first ever culture class." She said, "Celebrating Black excellence, the 2024 culture class is a group of individuals from different entertainment and media sectors, including wellness, culinary, sports, music, comedy, acting, and more. The 2024 culture class members have an impact in culture, and I'm proud to be included." She said, "Stay tuned and catch us as we head out on the road, the BET Awards." She said there'll be events all week leading up to the culture's biggest night, which is actually tonight, June 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then she also recently posted, she did a quick trip in Paris, France, a quick 24 hours to attend the Nike Vogue event. She posted pictures all, dressed up to the nines. Looked like I don't know what the location was, but it was all sort of outside. So they had models, doing their catwalks all around sort of just this big square. I'm not sure what part of Paris it was from, but they were, showing off the models, and people just, sitting off to the sides during the show.
Thanks. Well, Matt Wilpers has a new partnership. He has teamed up with Shriners Children's and their Wheels of Love campaign. He shared that the campaign is to help raise funds and awareness to support children who need mobility assistance. So he's teaming up and helping them doing some fundraising, and we'll have a link in the show notes, or you can find it on Matt's social media to see the campaign they're running to help support the Shriners Children's Foundation and the nonprofit there.
It's great. And Cody recently helped open a casino fitness center down in Atlantic City. It's the Ocean Casino Resort, and the casino page had posted on Instagram some pictures of the recently renovated casino fitness room, and with Cody, who cut the ceremonial ribbon of their newly renovated gym that also features updated fitness equipment, including Peloton bikes and Peloton rows as well. And then Cody also posted on social media. He posted to Threads on this one. Interesting choice, and I can understand the reason why he didn't post it to maybe some other.
Well, earlier this week, I forgot to mention this as a story, but he did attend an event at Meta. So I think while he was there at Meta, they might have suggested, hey, maybe you want to try out
Threads.
The Threads thing a little bit. So that might have been the tie-in there for Threads.
I actually didn't realize he joined Threads. He joined Threads because for the longest time, he didn't have that option on his Insta page to go.
I got an alert earlier this week that said he had signed up.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still holding out on that. I'm not doing Threads. No thanks. So he posted on Threads. He posted a pic with his assistant Ren in front of the White House. It was a Pride event, but the normal traditional white columns of the White House had been repurposed in the colors of the Pride flag. So I don't know what the details of the actual event was. There was no other pictures beside that one with him and Ren standing in front.
Yeah, we might see it more in a social media post later about that. But at the time of recording, he just had shared that he had attended a Pride event there. So, we'll see more from that in the coming weeks, I'm sure. And then Logan Aldridge just shared an update this week that it was actually the 20-year anniversary this week of his armiversary when he lost his arm in a skiing a water skiing accident. And he shared that he spent the day with his mom and some family and friends. So yeah, he shared that took place this week.
Cool. And then Jen Sherman and her best friend Pam Sunshine were recently on the Dear Found Her podcast to discuss the recent TikTok fame that basically was basically a year ago to this date when they were featured on this local Palm Beach, Florida TikTok channel that basically just talks to people on the street about, fashion, what they're wearing, their outfits. That was basically the clip that blew up and went so viral, which was this person asking Jen and Pam, what they were wearing, their fashion. So they talked all about that and kind of what's happened, obviously, in the past year since they've started this TikTok channel and kind of started this lifestyle brand and also had, lots of brand partnerships since then. If you've seen Jen on Instagram, she's, promoting a lot of different products now that they're getting deals for. But also they talked about, the podcast too, that's they recently announced that's coming this fall.
Nice. Well, with that, I think it's time for class picks of the week. So I will kick us off. First up, we have Dennis Morden and his 30-minute reset ride. That was from June 20th. That came from Tom KJAZ and Just Dance Lisa, who said this was a great new installment of Dennis's reset series. Don't forget to pair it with the yoga just before. We have Adrian Williams and his 10-minute full body stretch from the 21st at 2 a.m. This came from Danny Biker 2, who said, great stretch from Adrian. This one is going in my regular rotation. We then have a 20-minute hip-hop ride in English from Camila Ramon from the 21st at 7 a.m. Eastern. This came from Sydney Sanker, who said, best ride I've taken in a while. Great playlist.
Nice. And then Kristin McGee's 20-minute EDM Pilates, also from Friday the 21st. Daisy Mack said, amazing Pilates content. I will miss Kristin. And then Andy Spears, 30-minute density training, week 1, day 1 from the 21st. MKEGO84 said, he's just so good at both coaching and motivating. And then Ben Aldis's 30-minute live DJ ride, Defective Records from the 21st. Karaspin's TZ said, really great production on this. Great to see live DJ from the UK now, too.
And then we have Jeffrey McEachern in his 30-minute intervals run, which was in English from the 22nd at 7 a.m. This came from Tracy C. She said, Jeffrey taught this class in English, and with his encouragement, I managed to run faster than I had before. It's a class I'll take again and again. Don't sleep on Jeffrey's classes, even in German. He truly is the chief of good vibes and a fantastic coach. And what a playlist. We then have Maddie's 30-minute camp walk from the 22nd at 9 a.m. This came from Rachel Spence 24, who said, Mara is back. What more do we need to say?
And then next up, Cody's 30-minute Hidden Hills ride from June 22nd. Irish Brit said, typical great class from Cody. And then Robin's 45-minute 90s ride from June 22nd. Chaos Whisperer said this ride had the best playlist and the best attitude. And then Jen Sherman's 45-minute My Mixtape ride from Sunday the 23rd. Rachel Spins 24 said, fun playlist while still being very challenging. And yes, it was a very good playlist. I actually gave a few songs for this one, because it was my milestone ride. But super fun, and a couple friends in the studio for that one as well.
Awesome. And then the next day we have Rebecca Kennedy. The same day, later that day, we have Rebecca Kennedy in our 30-minute country pop walk, also from the 23rd at 11 a.m. This came from Jen C. Barath, who said, great workout and music. We then have Charlene Wiedenbach's 30-minute hard rock ride, which is also in English, from the 23rd at 11 a.m. This came from Sven823, who said, Charlotte's hard rock playlist are great, with an added bonus of this one being in English. And then we have Hannah Corbin and a 10-minute bar from the 24th at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. This came from Almajar3, who said this was a great burner from Hannah.
All right, next up, Christine Dierkel's 45-minute New Wave ride from June 24th. Just Shields said all Christine's New Wave rides are great. This one is no exception and had a great playlist. Ross Rayburn's 30-minute sleep meditation from June 25th. Matt Smith, 72, said this might be our last long sleep meditation from Ross. Will be missed. And then back to the bike for Leanne's 45-minute 80s rock ride from June 25th. Rachel Spins, 24, said Leanne put together a great playlist of 80s music for this one.
Nice. Well, then we have Kira Michelle and her 20-minute evening yoga flow from the 25th at 6:30. This came from Amajar3, who said great way to end the day. And then we have Sam Yo and his 45-minute Power Zone Endurance Classic Rock Ride from the 26th at 2 a.m. Eastern. This came from Panders Andy and Be Better, who said this was a great rock playlist with a good Power Zone structure to go with it.
And next up, Emma Lovewell's 45-minute low-impact ride from June 26. Rihata and Tough Tiff Sweats said the best vibes on the playlist and a great ride with arms. And then Rad Lopez's 30-minute glutes and legs strength from June 26. Julie MJ said solid burn from the workout with some good music.
And then we have Mariana Fernandez and a 30-minute evening slow flow in English from the 26th at 6:30 p.m. This came from Cia Lucia, who said, great class. She honored Ross and Kristin as her North Stars, a meaningful tribute during a beautiful practice. We then have Kendall Toole and her 30-minute 2000s hip-hop ride from the 26th at 9 p.m. Eastern. This came from Recrown Girl Dad Runs and Caitlin Akers, 24. Who said Kendall's last West Coast Wednesday ride, great playlist, fun, and challenging all in one. We then have Alex Karwalski and his 20-minute endurance row from the 27th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. This came from Kitty Cat 19, who said, great row as always from Alex. I enjoyed the talk about trash and sanitation. So I guess that was Alex's story time was trash and sanitation during that one. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and that wraps us up for the week.
Nice. Well, I don't know if Amanda is back next week or if she's still off.
She might have one more. She might have one more week, but either next week or the week after, Amanda should be back. So,
yeah, next week's 4th of July, so we'll have to figure out what we're gonna bring to you.
Based on this week, it seems like there's probably going to be a lot going on next week. So we'll probably. Don't be totally surprised if we end up skipping, but I think we'll probably aim to have a show. So,
yeah,
don't hold it against us if we end up skipping the week. But as of right now, I'd say if we can get our schedules together, we'll probably end up having one.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that about does it.
Yeah. Well, thanks as always.
This is a really quick, tight episode. I think this is one of our shortest ones in history. I don't think we chatted enough on the side, Chris.
Yeah, no, and actually,
we got to work on our banter.
Me and Jamie subbed in last week, and we had a pretty quick and snappy episode last week.
Pretty streamlined.
So I think
I know. And when you don't have chatty Amanda in there, the side talk is you're really limited. So
it happens. I'll work on that for next week. We'll see if we can drag it out to an hour next week, maybe.
Yeah, we'll hose it out.
Well, from me here in Atlanta, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week or the week after, depending on if we skip for the 4th.
Yes, and from me here in Michigan, appreciate you tuning in and watching and listening. And as always, we will see you on the leaderboard. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.